Hello friends, in this video we will learn how to build a digital clock with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is a very simple project that will boost your coding skills. To be honest, no one will ask you to build a clock with JavaScript, but the concepts in this project can be useful when you are building applications that require you to get the current time or the time for some other date. The concepts in this project can also be used to build a countdown timer. You can refer to the description below for a link on how to build a countdown timer. As you can see, my digital clock has a date consisting of day of week, month, year, and also the clock itself is a 24-hour military time. Stay tuned and let's build this project together. My name is Isaac Inim, and over here on my channel I share my knowledge on programming with JavaScript. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to not miss any new uploads. Before I start, you should know that I have already written the CSS of this project in order to save some time. So I'll talk you through the HTML and JavaScript only. Let's start. I have already generated some boilerplate code. First of all, I will link my CSS and JavaScript files. In the body tag, I'll first create a div with class container. In this div is where all our other elements will be. Next, I will create a div with class date container. This div will contain our date. In it, I will create 4 divs for our date, because when you look at the final project, the date has 4 elements. A div with ID day. In this div, we'll input 00. Now I'll copy and paste 3 times. The next div will have an ID month, then date, and then the last one has ID year. Next, I will create another div and give it a class name clock container. This container will have 3 elements, each for hour, minute and second respectively. I will also put 2 spans that contains column in between each of the clock elements. I guess we are done for the HTML. Now let's move to JavaScript. The first thing I'll do in our JavaScript file is to select all the HTML elements I'll be manipulating. There are 7 elements to select, and the first is day of week. So I will create a const day equals document.getElements by ID, and then the ID is day. Since there are 7 elements, I'll copy and paste this 6 times. Follow along as I select the rest of the elements. Next, I will create a function called update time, because we are trying to build a clock. So I will come down here and define our function update time, and then I'll open brackets. Here's the function for getting the current date and time in JavaScript. New date. I will assign this to a variable called current time, and then I'll try to print this. As you can see, this is the current date and time at the time of making this video. Now I'll try to extract only the year out of the current date. So I'll just add dot get full year, and that should return only the year. To get the month, I'll just change it to dot get month, and you can see that it returns 10. Now why does the function return 10 instead of November? That is because in JavaScript, the months that we know are represented with values. 0 stands for January, and then 11 stands for December. That means 10 stands for November. I will comment this out, and then I'll create a new variable y, which stands for year. I will assign this to new date.getFullYear to get the year. Next is a variable m equals new date.getMonth to get the month. Next, dt equals new date dot get date to return the date. Today's date is 27th, so this function will return 27. Finally, d equals new date dot get day. This will return the day of the date. Note that this method also returns values just like that of the getMonth method. That means today being Sunday, the getDay method will return 0. If it's Monday, to return 1, and so on and so forth. We are done creating the functions that will return the date. Next is to make it appear on our page. So here we go. Year.textContent equals y. As you can see, the year 2022 has appeared on our page. Next is month.textContent equals m. Notice that 10 appears for the month on our page, but obviously that's not what we want. So that means we need to create an array containing all the month names. I already have the array in this text file, so I'll just copy and paste it right here. Now instead of m over here, I will say month names index m, and that should extract the months based on the return value of the getMonth function. Next is date.textContent equals dt. I want to add a comma to it, so plus comma. Finally is the day, so day.textContent equals d. Just as the getMonth function, the getDay function also returns numbers, so we need to create an array just as we did for the month. I already have my array in this text file over here, so I'll just copy and then paste it right here. So instead of d, I will make it days of week index d. We are done creating the date. Now let's build the clock. Before I continue, if you are still with me until this point, then it means you are enjoying the video. So please take a few seconds of your time to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance. Just as we did for the date, I'll create a variable hr equals new date dot get hours. This method will return the hour from our current time. Next, min for minute equals new date dot get minutes. And then finally, sec for seconds equals new date dot get seconds. Now we need to make our time appear on the page, so we will do the same thing we did for the date. r.textContent equals hr, minute.textContent equals min, and then finally second.textContent equals sec. Now you can see that our update time function updates only once anytime we make a change in our code. We need to make it update every second so you can see the seconds counting. We just need to add a set timeout method like this. Set timeout and then open brackets. The set timeout method calls a function after a certain amount of milliseconds. So we want the update time function to be called, so we input update time, comma. The next parameter is the interval the function should be called. In this case, we want it to be called every second, so we type 1000. The reason it's 1000 is because it's in milliseconds, and as you already know, 1000 milliseconds makes 1 second. As you can see now, our seconds is counting as expected. At this point, there is one more thing we need to fix. Notice that when the second starts counting from 1 to 9, it comes as a single digit, but we need it to always display as 2 digits. So instead of 1, it should be 0, 1. We can fix it by using an if statement like this. I will delete this and then input if sec is less than 10, then second.textContent equals 0 plus sec, else second.textContent equals sec. So what we are telling JavaScript with this statement is that if the second comes as a single digit, just add 0. If not, do not add 0. Now take a look and you can see that the clock has been fixed. Follow along as I do the same thing for the hour and minute values. Everything is running as expected, so I guess we are done building our digital clock. If you found this tutorial helpful, then please like the video. Do not forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions or thoughts, just leave it in the comment section below. Thank you very much for staying with me until the end, and I'll see you in another video.